Hi friends, I'm Kim from CosmykStudios. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. Today I'm going to write tiny little letters. I'm going to make something similar to, I don't really totally want to give this away because what I wrote on here is very private for somebody, but it's basically a little letter that I wrote to somebody with a little charm made from shrink plastic. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half. And it's kind of interesting because it's not going to be an exact half. It's an odd measurement. It's just under 8 inches, so I'm going to go just about here. So that looks okay, and I'm just going to like that. Except, didn't have the lead out. Gotta get the lead out. Get the lead out, girl. What are you doing? I'm not going to do much if that's what we're going to do. Okay, let's try that again. At least I have a little bit of a line. I probably could have just used that, but anyway, we're gonna... This pencil works so well for drawing in detail. Let me show this one here. The outline of the moon was done in that pencil. The fine detail was started off in that pencil, and it actually just held up so well. But you can kind of see it's a purple pencil lead is what it is. And so it's, I don't know if, you know what, if I stick it on here you could tell it's a purple pencil. So I will cut this in half with shrink plastic. You have to be so careful. You cannot, it does not give like paper, so you cannot like snap it off at the end here. It will not accept it. It will crack, so you just kind of have to use higher up, like around here on your scissors when you're cutting. I also have smaller scissors that I use, but it definitely gives a bit of a jagged, you can kind of see these areas here are kind of cracked, but they're cracked on the scrap, so I'm not so worried about it. It's when it cracks on this part, and I don't, yeah, I do have a cracked one here. You can see right there his nose is cracked. Obviously we had issues. This one here and this one here likely just belong in the Museum of Mishaps. What happened? I know what happened. I was trying to figure out timing on that, and in doing so, either the temperature was too low or I didn't leave it in long enough. So I had to do some deep diving on the internet and figure out what exactly went wrong there. So to do this, I'm going to use a light blue pen and a red pen to start off. And I am going to, actually, we'll take the non-marked side. Do you see that little tiny, that's a stress crack from the scissors. It's a little bit darker right there. It's literally a stress crack from the scissors. Anyway, what I do is I like to take the side that I know for sure is straight, and I'm going to, these are dual tipped, so you want to be sure you're taking the correct, which would be the thinner of the two. So I'm just going to go straight down this line right here. There we go. I would use a straight edge, but by the time you shrink it, it really doesn't matter because it's going to warp anyway. In fact, oh my gosh, let me show you what happened. Again, I want to find one that's not, well, let's see, I'll just turn this one on its side here. What happened with this one here is it shrank like it was supposed to, but instead of staying flat, it curled up. And at first I panicked because that obviously it's not what I wanted. But then I realized that it kind of looked like an unfurled piece of paper. So I decided I didn't hate it. I didn't want the rest of them to do it. So I remedied that problem. Let's do this real quick here. And again, if you want straighter lines, that one kind of went off a little bit. It's okay. I'm just using this piece of paper underneath to help me get sort of a straight line. It's not perfect, like I said, because you're shrinking this stuff and it's not going to be perfect. And if you've ever wanted to do shrink plastic, or if you've ever done shrink plastic and you've had it curl on you and not work like it should have, like this little dude here, actually no, this was the first one I did. The second one I did completely folded up on itself and wouldn't uncurl. You know, it's supposed to go back flat. When it returns to its flat shape is when you're supposed to pull it out of the oven. And that poor thing did not return. Everything else was where it needed to be, and that poor thing was not doing well. So that was a bit of an issue. So what I did for the second round is I took a cookie sheet and I lined it with a piece of parchment paper, and then I put my stuff down on the parchment paper, and I stuck another piece of parchment over the top of the items that I was shrinking, and then I set a cookie sheet on top to keep everything flat. When you do that, you do need to keep it in the oven for an extra minute or so. I wouldn't say or so. Keep it in for about a minute. You're supposed to do it for 2 minutes. Do it for 3. And what I did, my instructions were very confusing. The instructions said to preheat the oven to 392 degrees. Well, my oven only goes in increments of 5, so I could either do it at 390 or 395. So I preheated it to 395, then I dropped it to 375 while I was baking my little goodies, and that actually seemed to work, thankfully. So that's what I did. A little worried here because my pen that I was using earlier, my black one, I have used this so much. I love this set, but this poor thing is just not not the strongest thing anymore. But anyway, so I went on the internet. I learned that you can do it anywhere from 325 Fahrenheit to 375 Fahrenheit. I preheated the oven to 395. When I stuck my stuff in, I dropped it to 375, flattened them with a cookie sheet on top of them, and baked them for 3 minutes. And they turned out pretty gosh darn good, I think. So I think she turned out really well. She's pretty flat. I did put resin over the top of these. This would be the, how do you say it? This would be like, there's two sides to this. There's one side that is matte and the other side is shiny. So the matte side is the side that you make your markings on. This, once it's baked is the shiny side. So this is how I drew it, and that's the flip side of it. This side I put resin on, this side I did not. You sure could if you want to, but I didn't. So we are going to write a fake letter. I used the oven for these, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to attempt using my heat gun once I'm done with my little letter here. And, oh, you know what? I know what I forgot to bring over. I know, our notebook paper in school probably really wasn't corner rounded, but here we go. Nope, that didn't work. There we go. I just used the one that barely rounds the corner. I have other ones, obviously. I've got 3 on here. Anyhow, okay, so for the purpose of this video, we are going to write a letter, and we're just going to make it very generic. There we go. A very generic letter. I want to put fake holes over here, like like a regular hole punched paper, but without all the holes in it, just the one for the keychain. These pens, you do need to shake them a little bit. Really like them. They're decent acrylic paint pens. Hopefully this one doesn't let me down right now, because I will cry. I will not cry. Just kidding. I'm going to move this light down a little bit more here. The best way to do this is to try and write your normal handwriting, but maybe do it a little slower. Sometimes these pens, with the surface of the paper, it'll kind of scratch a little bit, and when it scratches, it gives like a little bit of a spray. I couldn't see it on any of my finished products, but just wanted to let you know that it is a possibility. Okay, we're starting to get a little picky here. There we go. I think my cat's trying to break in. You do need to be a little careful with the paint pens, because if you're not, they can stay wet for a while. and you will touch things and get the edges of your hands. And you can also smear it a little bit, but that's part of the perils of being somebody who uses pens and inks and whatever. You're going to have stained hands here and there. Alright, and because I'm a little extra, we need to put some hearts on here. Okay. Now we are going to get our heat gun out and we are going to just see how this goes. I want to put a towel down. I don't know that it's going to help, but I don't really want to damage this surface because I damaged my other one with heat. It's warped. I don't know that I necessarily damaged it, but it is warped. So let's try putting it on something else. Okay, I got a skewer. I switched over to my little pink board here, and I have my heat gun. So if you do not have a skewer, the best way to keep this in place is using something, and you don't want to use this end of the skewer because this hole is going to shrink. If this works the way I want it to, well, then it'll work. If it doesn't work the way I want it to, then we're going to get an experience, aren't we? But if you do not have a skewer, I highly suggest using some sort of a heat protecting glove. But without further ado, let's give it a shot and see what's going on. Okay, well, what is it they say? Experience is when you get what you don't get what you wanted. This is obviously a fail. And I will tell you why this is a fail. It's because trying to heat shrink something that is this size with a heat gun, you need a more concentrated point of heat. So this is what we got. It is not at all what we want. So what I think I'm going to do for the purpose of showing you how it could work with a gun, I am going to quickly sketch out something small. You know, it's really funny. It's hot in here now. It's been super cold all day, and now it's just hot. Anyway, I would not give this to anybody, but I'm never mad when you don't get what you want. Again, it's another contribution to the Museum of Mishaps. That's what that is. Okay, I have a little piece here. We're going to do something very simple, and I do need my small scissors for this because anyway, we'll just cut something very small. Okay, punch a quick hole because that's what we're going to do. Just gonna and we'll use the thick side because it'll be fine. If you're doing small pieces, you don't have to start your oven up, but since I only have this one little item that I'm working on right now, I don't want to turn on the oven for a one piece project. Okay, so again, we're going to put this right here. Just going to set that right there, and here we go again with the heat gun. It'll work this time, I promise. That right there is good. So I think what we want to do is we'll just go ahead and press it. I just grabbed the first thing I could get. Really, you'd want to press it with a book or something, but I just happen to have this nearby. So just press it down. Comes out flat. And there you go. So the shrink plastic that I'm using, and it's thicker. Can I show you? Can I show you? Do you see the difference in thickness? Anyhow, the shrink plastic that I have says that it'll shrink down to 2/5 of the size that you, so if you want a particular size in mind, you do the math. Don't make your girl here do math, because I really don't like it. I can do it, but listen, I'm no math expert. Mathspert? I'm not a mathspert. Okay, now if I had the rest of my stuff out, I would go ahead and resin that. Like you see, these here are much shinier. So I'm going to show you, this is the side we colored on. Is it? No, wait. Ooh, it's hard to tell. Okay, so the important thing too is parchment paper. This is like cardboard, and it will kind of, how do you say it? The parchment paper definitely helps to give one side a shiny hue to it. Not hue, shiny, it'll give it a gloss. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyhow, this is what it does with the heat gun. The heat gun is a great option for very small projects. Do not try this. Do not try this at home, or you will get something that looks like that. Which again, I don't hate, and I'm not super mad at it, but I can't give it to anybody. Anyway, I just wanted to hop on here. I was getting ready to do something, and I wanted to share. I hope that this video helps you in some small way. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to my channel. I am new, so any likes and subscribes are very helpful to me, and I really appreciate it. I promise not to waste your time. I hope you have a great evening, morning, afternoon, whatever you're having. Enjoy it. Thank you.